Good morning, guys. Yesterday was the completion of your first 2 weeks of the 90-day challenge. So you made it 2 weeks. Congratulations. Today is my first day back in town. I was gone over the weekend for a volleyball tournament for my daughter, beginning in January through August. This is our family's busy time. It's travel volleyball season. We roll into spring baseball, and then we move right from there into travel baseball. And so I'm gone more than I'm home a lot of times. And so it led me to want to do a quick video on adapting to things when you're not in your regular environment. So this weekend I spent 2 nights at a hotel, 3 days at a tournament, and then came home late last night, tired, and am now just catching up. So what do I do when I'm on the road, and how do I keep my routine as consistent as possible? We talk a lot about consistency, and consistency is very important, but that doesn't mean that things don't change, right? Life is what it is, and you are going to have to be adaptable and able to adapt on the fly. So we've given you some resources for that. So inside the guides section, there are resources under the Paleo tab on dining out, eating on a budget, what happens when you're on the go, how to take snacks. There's one called Paleo on the Go, actually, about what kinds of foods are portable that can go with you. So when I'm traveling, and like I said, we do a lot of it, so we usually pack, some of you may have seen pictures on my personal Facebook page, we pack what we call snackle boxes, which are very in vogue right now. It is last year Gia decided she wanted a snackle box for every tournament. So every morning she has a little kind of like a bento box but bigger, and I pack it with snacks so that while she's on the court between games, she doesn't really have time to eat a meal, but she's got something that she can snack on. Lots of those things are high in protein. I'll do pepperoni and sliced cheeses, or meat sticks, or cut up grass-fed hot dogs. It depends. It's different all the time. I've talked about the fact that the chicken salad is one of her favorite things. She takes it to lunch, she takes it to games. I'll make that. Usually there's fresh fruit, vegetables. I do healthy fats, so she's generally got some nuts or some seeds. She's not really a fan of nuts, so we eat pistachios because she likes those. Guacamole is one of her favorite things, so I'll almost always have guac in there with something she can dip in the guac. Yeah, she takes guac in her lunch every day, so we always have it for tournaments when we're on the road and everything. As a matter of fact, I was Snack Mom this weekend, and I put guac in everybody's snacks. And I actually had somebody tell me they'd never had it before, and that they loved it, but they'd never actually had it, which is so odd to me. But anyway, I digress. So being prepared is really important. We always stop on our way out of town, pick up the things that we're going to want to take with us, things that we can do in a hotel that don't require cooking. If I'm going to pre-make things that are refrigerated, I'll do it the night before we leave town. And then we do eat out. It's impossible not to, because this particular hotel room, a lot of times I'll stay in an Airbnb and I have a kitchen and I can. But for volleyball, it's stay and play. So we have to stay wherever they tell us we're staying, and we don't get to choose. So sometimes I get a hotel with a kitchen, and sometimes I don't. And this time I didn't. As a matter of fact, we didn't even have, I guess there was a microwave. I don't use a microwave, but I guess there was a microwave and a little mini refrigerator. And so we did put stuff in the mini refrigerator, but I don't use a microwave, so that's useless. But anyway, so we did eat out. We had dinner the night of the first one, breakfast and dinner the second day, and lunch on the third day. And so what we try to do is look ahead at what's going to be around where we are, plan accordingly, so a couple of things. One, in the Paleo guide, there is two things. In the Balanced Bites nutrition guide, in the back, it talks about what to choose when you're dining out. There's also a guide in the Paleo Total Transformation packet on dining out. And then there's another one, and I forget who wrote it, on eating out and taking things with you and that kind of stuff. But there's 3 separate guides that explain ways that you can modify if you're on the road. And depending on what you're doing, paleo, keto, carnivore, it isn't actually all that difficult. Gravitate towards grilled meats and fish. So steaks are great options. Burgers, just the patties, double. So the thing you do need to be concerned about, obviously, is the seed oils, the oils that they cook in, and that's really the hardest part of eating out. So if you don't already have it, I highly recommend you get the app Seed Oil Scout. It tells you exactly what kind of oils each restaurant cooks in. So there are certain places that I know in our area that we can go because they use olive oil, or they use avocado oil, or they use tallow, and more places are going back to using tallow. So we have a couple of places nearby that we can do. When in doubt, one of my favorite things is sushi, because I can have sashimi anywhere. There was nothing in it but raw fish. So that's what we had for lunch yesterday. Same with like poke and that kind of stuff. What you need to be careful of is the sauces. And another, like, we do a lot of Thai and Indian, because I can do curries and things like that without the rice. It's real easy. If you're doing Mexican, do like some grilled meat, like a fajita, and no rice, no beans, no tortillas. Like, it isn't that difficult to deconstruct. Just be thinking about it. The more prepared you are when you go into that situation, the easier it's going to be for you. So anyway, I just want to talk a little bit about that. And I also have to obviously make modifications to my sleep. I have to make modifications to my exercise. It was funny because I was thinking about that on the way up, that I wasn't going to be able to do the vibe plate for those 3 days. And I said, I'm trying to do that every single day. And the very first day we got there, before her first game, I already had 15,000 steps. So I think I ended up that day with 25,000 steps. So try and incorporate ways that you can move around. We did a lot of walking, so that was fairly simple. If I don't have a lot of walking to do, then I try and find other things. Gia had to do push-ups for her coach for something, and so she made me do them, because she said it was my fault that she was a couple minutes late to her game. She wasn't late to a game, but she was late to where they were supposed to meet. Anyhow, long story short, there are ways to modify, and you have to be adaptable, but you also have to be consistent. And so how are we adaptable and consistent at the same time, right? So consistency means I never skimped on self-care. I never skimped on my reading. I never skimped on my movement. I never skimped on eating the right things. I adapted how I did that to fit my environment and my circumstances. So instead of being on my vibe plate, I did a lot of walking. Instead of doing my red light mask and all that, I still did my facial. I took a face mask with me. Every night when we came back, we did our mask and we chilled, and before it was time to go to sleep. Reading. I was at the conference center the whole time, but I could get in reading between games. I was listening to my book by Dr. LaPera on my headset. While she wasn't playing. I actually got quite a bit of that done. And I still have a sleep routine, right? I still take my mask. Because I always have my face mask to block out any light. I put lavender and magnesium spray on the sheets and the pillows in the hotel. I still do my gratitude and read my Bible before I go to bed. Like, my routine is still the same. It's just in a different location, and I have to make small tweaks. So just because you're not at home, or just because the day didn't go the way you planned, that is absolutely not an excuse to not do the things on your list and your checklist. And that's all I wanted to say. So have a great day. Tomorrow I'm going to talk about sleep.